Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of the Human Library podcast. My name is Michelle, and I'm your host for today. And in this episode, we're joined by three very special guests. Their names are Jia Yan, Jocelyn, and Guo An. So, hello, everyone. So, if you guys do not know, these three students here, they are from our nursing faculty in Utah, and they have undergone the first year of nursing school fully online. Why don't you guys introduce yourselves, starting with Jia Yan?
Okay, sure. So hi everyone, I'm Jia Yan. I'm a nursing student who, just survived my first year. And I'm born and raised in Ipoh, Perak. That's a little bit of basic information about me. Prior to my nursing degree, I was actually in STPM. Yeah, I did Form 6. That's a little bit about me, I guess.
That's very nice, STPM. What about Jocelyn? Maybe you can introduce yourself.
So hi everybody, I'm Jocelyn. I just finished my year one studies in Utah nursing. So I'm actually born and raised in Petaling Jaya, Selangor. And yeah, I think that's pretty much about me. Yeah.
Okay. And here we have Guo An. Guo An, let's hear from you.
Yeah, my name is Guo An, and I'm a classmate of Jocelyn and Jia Yan as well. Uh, Previously, I had my study the foundation in Masa, and then I am from Johor, and yeah.
Oh, okay, I see. Wait, so you study in foundation from Masa, but why Utah? Why
Okay,
come to
this
Utah?
is a little bit drama.
Drama.
So
Okay.
I always wanted to be in part of the healthcare industry. So during my middle school, I always hard work to strike very good result to get into this healthcare profession. So after my SPM, I went into Masa to pursue MBBS, and then I think that the fees for the MBBS is overwhelmed for my family, and after that, I choose to go for engineering in Utah because engineering is the fees for engineering is kind of low and you can make good money lah after graduation. But engineering is not my passion is not there, and I actually very depressed during the engineering study. So after the discussion with my family, then we decided for me to continue my dream lah to be in this healthcare profession. So
Wow.
that's why I'm here.
Wow, that's very commendable. Wow, that's like wow. It's like you went from healthcare and then you just switch courses because for financial reasons you just switch courses because MBBS is very costly lah. And then for you to come back to healthcare because you realize that is your passion, I find that it's very touching and very heartwarming to hear. Yeah. So actually, you already answered the next question that I was about to ask. Maybe we can hear from Jia Yan and Jocelyn as well. My question for you is, what is the reason for you to join nursing school?
Something similar with Guo An, I also have like transitions. I was actually a pure art student taking accounts, econs, and ed math in my secondary school. So I have no science background at all. I don't know chemistry, don't know physics, don't know biology. I just had general science back then. Then, thinking of doing law, I went to do A levels, and then I did. Wasn't my cup of tea, and did it, and then I was lost because I didn't know what to do back then. So when I did not know what to do, my sister, who was a staff nurse in Fatima Hospital, so she prompted me to try out nursing. She was like, oh, why not you just go and try it and see whether you like it or not? Because she also wanted to become a teacher. And then after that, she also transitioned to nursing. So my family was like, nursing, it's not a very clean job. So they are not sure whether if I could handle those dirty works. So I decided to actually try out working in Asunta Hospital. Not sure if you heard of it. It's in PJ. So I tried that out in mid-June 2017, like that. So I signed a 6 months contract to work as a patient care assistant. So it's like an assistant of a staff nurse. So
So
basically,
what do you
the
do?
job
Yeah.
scope are like you bed bath patient, toilet bath, changing diapers, everything except for giving medications, that kind of thing. Yeah, because you haven't go through the study yet, and you're not supposed to do it because they scared. What if anything happens from there? So it was
Yeah,
actually
for
from there
ethical
I like
reasons.
the satisfaction when, yeah, it was from there where you find that, oh, there is a certain satisfaction where after you have helped someone, physically you see them getting well and then leaving hospital. So it was from there I realized that I like the job, but I lack the knowledge because when they don't really teach you, so you have to go in like hands on. So first day you go there, you see people do what, passing report. So without any knowledge, you go in there, passing report, you don't know what's diagnosis, you don't know who is the doctor, you don't know what's going on, you don't know what they need to avoid, you don't know what they need to do. So you were clueless. Then slowly picking up day by day, but there's a lot of things that I still lack of because I didn't study this profession yet at all. So it was from there I decided to do this profession and to actually know more so that in future if I enter back to the hospital setting, I could do much more than what I did back then.
I think it's a very, what you said really touches my heart as well, because many people kind of think that when they think about a nurse or they think about a doctor or anyone in the healthcare profession, right, they always think of someone who has studied the science field all their life, and then like it's like very clear cut. Yeah, I love science and I'm sure this is what I'm going to do. But really, people who are involved in healthcare, they can come from all sorts of backgrounds, all sorts of different knowledge. And it's not really the knowledge that's like the main point or the thing that matters. Yes, it's important, but it's very important to have that heart also. And I can really see that between Guo An and also Jocelyn as well, like you yourself as well. I can see that you guys are really passionate about this. And I'm sure that's going to take you very far as well. So yeah, that's very heartwarming to hear. I'm sure our listeners also will be very encouraged to hear that as well from the both of you. And how about Jia Yan? Can you share with us why did you decide to go into nursing school?
For me, like I feel like my story kind of like resonate with both Guo An's and Jocelyn's story. The part where Guo An says that's what he feels like all this while to go into the healthcare profession. That's like how I felt also. Like after Form 5, I kind of knew already that I want to be in the healthcare profession, but there's like so many options in there, which I wasn't exactly sure which I would like to do. I thought of MBBS too, but like I don't think my brain can handle that. And I was
Right.
in search of what exactly I want to go into. And I was very, very lucky, I will say. I was given an opportunity to do an exchange program to the United States, where I was luckily hosted in the city where the famous Mayo Clinic is at. So yeah, I was hosted in Rochester, Minnesota, and in school I went for like high school for a bit, and I did like health sciences subjects, and I managed to get an opportunity to visit Mayo Clinic and have a shadowing in their phlebotomy lab and things like that. So all these experiences actually add up my passion further to help myself know that, oh, that's the thing I want to do. It's almost like I wouldn't know where I could end up to be if I weren't going to do this nursing thing. Like, you know, If it's not this, then what? I can't imagine myself doing some other job. In the lab, not really. In the office, not really, because I like talking to people. I can't really, face the machines every day. That's not what I like. And I also, get to know a few friends who are already nurses and working in Mayo Clinic, and having them as a friends, I kind of knew that, nurse actually is not as bad of a job as people thought. You know how Asian or Malaysian, or at least for my family, we have the conservative thinking. Nursing, like Jocelyn also have mentioned, is a dirty job, which my mom thinks so too. But I realized it's actually not that. It's more than that. It's now a profession already. It's no longer like, uh, you know someone who works for the doctor. We are no longer that. We actually work alongside the doctors, and we have our very our own job skills, are basically, like, we have our own fields of responsibilities that we have to cover, which besides a nurse, no one else would do it. So that's also one of the reasons. If you ask me, like, what actually motivates me into going into nursing, I would say that opportunity where I get from my exchange experience are actually the biggest um, motivation for me to essentially go into nursing. Yeah.
I think it really resonates with me when you said, like, you don't really like to go and look at all the machines and all of that. It's really the nurse-patient relationship that really matters, right? It's like something that is nothing else can replace this. Like, it's something that is no other. I don't know. I don't really know how to explain it. I'm not very good at explaining it as well. And also, like, how some people, or like, like the Asian culture, when they call it a dirty job, or saying like, oh, why do you want to be a nurse? You can do other things. You can make more money for lesser effort, and all that. But really, it's not. Making money is not the only important thing in life, and it's very important for us to find a job that makes us feel fulfilled. And I feel like from what three of you explained, it really solidifies with me that you guys really know what your direction in life and your passion in life is, what it is, and how these things are the things that matter, the things that make you feel fulfilled. And it doesn't really matter what other people say. They can say it's like a dirty job or whatever, but I think, right, that nurses are most of the time undervalued, or they are like underappreciated, but really they are a very strong part in the healthcare system as well. Like, of course, yeah, they help take care of the patients, but also, even helping out, they sometimes they know more than the doctors as well. I think they're also very integral in the part of, like, training junior doctors as well. When doctors are busy, nurses are the one who actually bring and support junior doctors. That's what I feel. And it's like very wrong to undercut that, or like undervalue that. Yeah. So I'm very glad that we can talk about this. And it's not a very shallow reason lah why you want to go into nursing. It's like it's something that you hold deep to your heart. And I'm very glad that you guys are willing to share with us today your reasons for wanting to go into nursing. Thank you so much. Let's talk about the transition from pre-U to uni level. So you guys, one from foundation, another one from STPM, and then one more from, sorry.
Actually, I did a variety of pre-U's. Yeah. I did A levels, and then I progressed to UK to further my studies, which is not nursing.
UK.
And then not nursing, something similar. I was actually planning to choose nursing, but then because I was having a relationship back then, and then we tend to think a bit further. So nursing don't really have balanced work life, because you have a lot of time in work, and then you don't really have time with your family. So after all, I think, so why not I don't do this, and I have a much more balanced work life, which you work at an office timing but still healthcare. So I pick up osteopathy. No, I'm not sure if you heard of that. It's a combination of physiotherapy and occupational therapy kind of thing. Yeah. But they are not
I see.
yeah, but they are not chiropractors. It's different. More towards physiotherapy. So I picked up that, did a year in UK, and then my boyfriend passed on. And then I didn't really know whether if I should
So sorry.
continue it. So at the end, I couldn't stay there alone at the same place. Basically, I couldn't sustain there emotionally. So after that, I withdraw and I left and come back. And then when I come back, basically Utah don't recognize what I did in UK. So I have to restart all over. So I did another foundation in Utah and then progressed on into first year. Yeah. So
I see.
it's 2 years already. Yeah.
Wow. So you had quite an expensive background in pre-U education. Okay.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. So all right. Let's talk about how did it feel to transition from that pre-U level to uni? Maybe Jocelyn, you can start like how did it feel from foundation year in Utah? Since you've experienced foundation year in Utah, do you feel like it equips you for what you went through in first year of nursing school?
I
No.
did art subject. Okay, because education system is a little bit different, I think, in US, UK, and in Malaysia. So for
Yes,
US, like
definitely.
from an art subject, you can go and transition to a science subject easily. And American studies are like, if I'm not mistaken, you can pick up courses that you want just by the credit hours and you can fit however you want. So during your first year, you might not need to study everything based like very major on your course. You can pick up other things like probably piano classes or whatever, something that doesn't really relate at all. Then for UK's one, you can transition, but you have to take their particular foundation background also. Like 1 or 2 semester. But in Malaysia, to transit, it's harder as compared to those countries. So if an art student want to do medicine, MBBS student like that, basically you cannot transit. So long as if you choose a wrong step in secondary school, you picked up arts, you will never be an MBBS student in your life in future. You will never become a doctor anyways. So the only way if you want to be a healthcare from an art student is nursing.
Yeah, I guess that's
So
true. I
yeah,
realized
so
that
don't really have much
it's a very
option.
narrow road for Malaysian
Very
students.
rigid.
Yeah,
So
very
if
rigid.
at the age of 15 years old, you never think properly whether you want to be
Yeah.
a science student. If you don't know what you want, better go for science because you can change to arts.
Yeah. If you're not sure, right, just take everything or like just do science first. And then when you want to
True.
transition to later you need to
Yeah.
do accounting, it's okay, it's easier. Yeah.
Yeah,
I
everyone
guess.
do science and then do accounting after that. And then I'm like, I study accounts background and I want to go science. So I'm one of the odd one out there.
You did the impossible.
Don't really understand sometimes when class, like when teachers say like scientific terms and when they say like certain high pressure to low pressure, something like that, the kind of thing. And then you'll be like, never heard of that. And then lecturers will be like, I assume you all studied already in your high school, right? Okay, let's move on. And then you'll be like, no, I don't
You'd be
study in
like,
high school.
no, I didn't.
Nah, not me. Left one.
Wow. Okay. Wow. So I really appreciate. Well, wow. I'm really impressed that you will do that double effort. You need to put like in twice or three times the effort to understand and catch up to that
That's why
level.
my academic advisor say like, when she had like personal call with us, she
Uh-huh.
told this thing where, apple and orange are different. You cannot compare your results. So we are the orange people who study science. Apple. So our result cannot compare to Jia Yan and Guo An's result because they study
Oh,
science.
Oh, now I know who's the outstanding students.
So whenever she's
But
like, how's your result? My result not very good because like orange and apple cannot compare. They're different.
that's true. Sometimes, right, maybe our academics, right, they don't really reflect in our work life also, ma. That's what they always say. They say like work life is
Sure.
different. Our skill set will be determined when we actually go into workplace. Yeah. So yeah, don't beat yourself up over bad results also. Yeah, that's something that we should also highlight to the juniors. I think some of them they'll get disappointed. Like myself personally also, coming from I did A levels lah, but then when I transitioned to medical school, I find it quite a struggle as well. So I think my results also dropped quite a lot during my first few exams, and I was beating myself up over it. But then I realized like it's not really the results that matter. It's just like as long as you can understand the concept, that's the most important part. And as long as you can progress, that will be good enough. And okay, what about Guo An? Maybe you can tell us.
Okay, so I think Masa well prepared their students for degree lah. They have biology, chemistry, physics, these three basic science subjects, and then they also have psychology and biomedical science during their
Wow.
foundation studies. So the biomedical science actually helps a lot lah. We can learn about the MRI, the things like that, and some specific terms about your body. Yeah. So when I go to nursing, it's very helpful for me.
Um, Go on. So there is a stigma around male nurses, and specifically, like some of them do face discrimination, especially I think in the Asian culture, the concept of male nurses is sometimes being discriminated against. So what is your perspective on that, and have you yourself faced any sort of discrimination so far?
I've been good as a male nurse in my environment so far. No one discriminate me, and everyone is fine. Everyone is good to me. And then actually, male nurse is kind of popular among nurse this career because they require man's power in handling the patients, such as helping the patient to get up and then help them to bath. Requires a lot of energy. So yeah, male nurse is actually
They're very
very
important.
popular in this
Yes.
career. Yes.
Okay, that's very good. What about Jia Yan? How do you think the transition was like for you?
For me, because of, like I have taken science my whole life. I mean, like
Yeah,
from secondary
comes natural
school,
to
and
you.
then I went for SCBM first in science, and then I did nursing. So you know how people always say SCBM, it's pretty much prepare you for everything because the syllabus is hard, you learn a lot of stuff, which is quite true. Like for some of the subjects that we are learning in my nursing degree, they actually are similar to what I have already learned in SCBM or even earlier on in secondary school. But definitely, it's not totally the same. That's it's more advanced what we learn here in nursing degree. It's more advanced, of course. And I don't know if anyone can relate. My brain, they kind of just delete the old memories because of storage. I don't have enough hard disk. So whatever I have learned in my SCBM or earlier on, not
You need
everything
to
stays
upgrade
in
your
there.
storage.
Yeah, like I kind of know I learned this before in my SCBM, but when it comes to more detailed knowledge about it, I tend to find that myself have already forgotten about them. So still need a lot of hard work to catch up lah. So yeah, it's not like the easiest thing to transit into. Yeah, there's still challenges, of course. Yeah.
Yes, I agree as well. I always feel like I'm always low on storage up here, so
Yeah.
I also need to upgrade my storage. we just have to revise consistently. I think that's the tip here. Revise consistently. Nobody is perfect, but we can do our best. Okay. Okay, so let's talk about online nursing school specifically. So, I'm sure this is a very interesting concept. Learning nursing online, is it possible? Is it not? Let's find out. So, how did it feel? How did online nursing school feel like for you? Guo An, can you tell us about your experience? What were your expectations actually going into nursing school at first? And then did it meet your expectations? Were you disappointed? Were you impressed?
Okay, I actually very happy with these online classes because I can always revise back to the previous classes lah. So
Oh yeah,
when
that was working
sometimes I
better.
don't understand about this, I can always look back. And this is the pros from physical class, I think. So online classes is very good for me, better than physical class, I think.
Don't
Yes.
you miss going to see your friends and everything? Does it get lonely?
No, actually.
No. It's just you
Because
and the lectures.
we can always meet online, what? So
That's true. So it's safer for now. But
yeah.
has your social life been okay during the pandemic? I feel like how has it been hard to make new friends coming from because you guys are you came from Masa, right, like your Masa Foundation. So did you manage to make new friends within the Utah community during the online classes?
The only new friends I make is with Jocelyn, Jia Yan, and the rest of my class. And the rest I don't
The rest of your
really
class
know
means
them well.
okay. Oh wait, so your closest friends are Jocelyn and Jia Yan?
No, no. I mean the whole course. I know them.
Okay. Sorry, I thought you meant just the both of them. Oh, then it should be okay
No.
lah, like that. Oh, then that's still
Yeah,
very good. That's
just
still
I
very
don't
good.
have the chance. Just
You
don't
have
have the
8
chance.
friends, Guo An.
Yeah.
That's more than all my friends combined.
But we don't have the chance to talk with FBBS students or other course like physiotherapy.
Yeah. We didn't get to bond what to do. Hopefully,
Yeah.
we can meet next year. Okay, what about Jia Yan? How was online nursing school like for you?
I think whatever Guo An says, actually it's very, very true. And that's like pros and cons to everything, including this one. The pro is that, I have very, very, very inverted lifestyles in the sense that I stay awake at night and stay asleep in the day, and classes happen in the day, so you kind of get what I mean.
Yeah.
I fall asleep in classes. So that's like the cons of it. I don't know it's a pro or cons, because you get to have a very weird lifestyle because of online school. But I guess it's not good for your health, so that's like the cons. And falling asleep in class is not good for your focus because you don't know what lecturers talk about in the lectures.
You can't ask questions and then you just sit there.
But the pro is that with online school you get to watch back all the recordings, like what Guan have mentioned. Yeah, and I'm the type who always watch back the recordings. I mean, like I definitely miss practical class though, like because I'm the type, like I said, I fall asleep in class. I actually fall asleep a lot in my secondary school and also at CPM too. Like I fall asleep all the time in class. I'm just the type who cannot sit and listen because that really, really drifts my attention off. I will really like listen, and then for another second I will like so. That's me in class all these years. So that's why I appreciate practical class, because it makes me, walk around, stand up, doing things that I can easily focus on because it's fun doing all these things, right? And sitting down listening, not really. I cannot tahan. So yeah, that's what I miss. And I think that's the thing that I miss the most from doing online class, That's like the cons of it. So yeah.
I think actually I do agree to what Guo An and Jia Yan say. I do prefer uh, the online class because whether am I asleep or not, which sometimes you're not asleep in class. It's just that when you listen, when you don't understand the front part, like too scientific stuff, when you don't understand the front part, then slowly you don't understand the second part. Like the first hour is the
they're all
foundation, like the
connected.
introduction of the second session. So you don't understand the first one, you'll be like, forget about it, I don't want to listen already. So you are awake sitting
I'll
there,
watch that.
but you cannot listen already. Then you'll be like, I'll watch back later, I cannot already. So after that, you'll have to set another allocation time in your SDL time, where the teacher are like, in your SDL time, you're supposed to study things more than what is in the syllabus. And I have like inside syllabus also it's quite difficult for me to understand everything thoroughly, and you're trying to expect something even out of the box. I'm like, no thanks. I cannot do it. So classes will be classes, and then whether you understand or not, you still have to sit down there, and you couldn't pause. You cannot be like, teacher, what did you say just now? You repeat again. So sometimes we don't pause. We'll just let them flow because it's recorded. It'll be safe in Microsoft Teams. So after that, you'll pick some time where you are much more available. When your brain can start up, usually at night, for me also. And then you sit down there when everyone is asleep, environment is quiet. No frying, cooking pan sound around. Then you start watching the video. Play it absolutely slow. When sometimes teachers, because different teachers have different accent, different way of speaking, and you are supposed to suit your ear according to them at a different video time. So if you listen to this particular lecturer, you have to suit him or her speaking accent. So when you listen, some kind of words you don't really hear very smoothly. So you go back, replay, and hear again. Replay. So I tend to replay and replay multiple times on the same exact part just to hear like probably a sentence clearly.
One word.
So
One word
I
difference.
have tried one or two words. So I've tried listening like an hour. So 1 hour video, I don't watch it in an hour. It probably takes me around 3-4 hours. Because in the middle, you'll probably press your phone, then you go toilet, then your mouth get itchy, you try to look for things to eat. So that 1 hour video, and then plus replaying and replaying and replaying endless time. So end up, it'll take around 4 or 5 hours. So technically, it does help you revise in a sense. It's better.
Let's talk about the challenges that you have faced during the online classes. So, do you have any challenges that you have faced, or any nice, interesting stories that you would like to share with us throughout your time in first year of nursing school?
I think there's no problems about online class lah. But there is one subject I find it very difficult for me lah for the first year. I don't know. Following years we will have subjects like this or not. But this subject is very challenging. Yeah, I actually decrease the time for the other subjects lah. So I think I spend most of my semester to study this particular subject, and I don't read more about the others. So
So it's like you had to have very good time management skills, basically. You had to allocate more
yeah,
time to study this subject that should not be named.
yes,
Yes, and then you managed to pass. So that's good also. So one tip for our juniors: have very good time management skills. Focus on the things that you don't know, rather than the things that you already know. Throughout this conversation, we've probably shared a bit here and there about tips that juniors can also take as well, because I'm sure they have a lot to learn from your stories as well. Sharing is caring. Why don't you share any tips? Like, this question is now dedicated to tips that you would have for our incoming juniors, juniors who are coming in for the first time, so excited to learn. What kind of tips do you have for them to prepare them for the journey ahead, the very long journey into the healthcare field?
Well, I guess I can go first.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, Jia Yan. Just imagine I'm a junior right now. What would you tell me going into nursing?
Hi, Michelle. Okay. Well,
Hi.
okay. Yeah. Academic wise, I guess, like you have covered this also, you really have to know your own learning style well. Whether you are like a visual person who you appreciate like visualizing things, and that's how you can learn better, then by all means really get better visual. You can even draw your own mind map and things like that, which is not me. I cannot draw mind map. Or whether you are a person who can listen really well, like listen actually make me drift off, so that's not me also. But if you are, then you should follow lectures. Like by listening you can, if you can learn better, then really follow lectures. So really by knowing your own learning style, right, you can learn more effectively. So first you have to find out your own learning style. And the second one also, I think learning one knowledge and also being able to apply it during exam is like two different things. So answering exam is also a technique that should be learned. You have to learn how to score in exams. I mean, for nursing studies, right, for now that we are doing all the exams, I actually kind of can give a few differences, like I can sense a few differences on how to answer exam compared to my previous studies in like SCBM or like even secondary school. So because my background as a biology students or like science, pure science students, right, in the past when we have exam, we actually have to write essays, and you have to remember every single detail of a certain, let's say a certain process like Krebs cycle or whatsoever. You have to remember from, yeah, like this whole thing, like how it goes from this to this, like what element, I don't even know what you call that already, like what element turn to what, and you have to remember every single details, right? But for nursing studies now, in exam we actually they actually ask more of those very basic concepts of things. Like I say, can't think of a good example now, huh? But it's more of a short answer questions, as it's self-explanatory, because like when you have an exam, it's called SAQ for a reason, right? Short answer questions. So it's really, they really ask you for short answer, which it covers the subtopic of a main topic rather than asking you details. I think that's like the difference on how you can try to focus on when you study. So yeah, those are some little tips on how I study. I'm not sure if it's helpful. I was trying to say also, for me personally, right, I actually really think for nursing, practical skills is also very, very important. And I haven't really tried this out yet because of the pandemic and things like that. And also since I have already just completed with my first year with not much skill learned. But in the future, even for myself, I really want to try out more like volunteering works or even some other activities outside of school, which is, you know, non-academic, but things that can help you learn your skills. Let's say you volunteer in like a nursing home, then you can learn how to do, like practically do bed bath for your for elderly, not like bed, but like bed bathing a mannequin, because in school all you have is a mannequin, right? So yeah, that's why I think that's something I really want to do also. And I feel like I should, you should be encouraged to do that too, like to go out and try out some other activities that can allow you to learn your practical skills.
That's very correct. That's like, learning is not just limited to within the classroom. I really agree with you as well that we can learn not just by reading or going through our lectures, but also by everything around us. Like how you say, volunteering is a very good way to do it, and I'm sure, yes, do encourage our listeners to volunteer whenever they can as well, and it can really build up their skill set for when they enter the workforce and when they actually become nurses next time in the future. Okay, so that's very good. How about Guo An?
So I don't I don't know if this is appropriate term, but we need to be shameless.
Uh,
I mean, we cannot be shy lah when we encounter the patient or lecturers, right? In the academic wise, right? When you don't understand this thing, you have to always ask the lecturer, because in healthcare profession we cannot assume things, ma. Everything must be proved with evidence. So if you don't know this thing, you must go and ask your lecturers. And in practicals, maybe we cannot be shy also to our patients, because when you're shy, your speaking volume is actually very low and they cannot hear what you're talking about. So yes, when we speak, we have to have the correct, I mean, the appropriate volume and the terms we're using. Maybe we can use internet resources lah. There are actually
yes.
very much resources we can use online, and maybe this thing is not covered in your lecture notes, or you want to learn more about it, you can always go online. And yes, the last thing is, like Michelle said just now, time managing and self discipline is very important. Always trim your nails, cut your hair, and be presentable lah when you encounter your patient. Yeah, I think
Yes,
that's all
that's
for
very
me.
true. I think like what you mentioned just now about not being shy actually. I think that's very important. Maybe some of us will be insecure or like think that oh, what if I'm the only one who doesn't know this? But I'm sure none of us will fault each other or blame each other if we are confused or if we don't know anything. It's always better to ask, because at least we're still in the classroom setting, or even next time when we're working, right? Yeah, like what you say, you cannot just assume anything one. um, Assuming things, and then if you are wrong and if that leads to something worse, that's even worse compared to just feeling shy or feeling embarrassed a little bit. As long as you're willing to learn and not be shy, I think, yeah, that's a very good practical advice for our juniors as well. Always be willing to ask, and don't be afraid to voice out. How about Jocelyn? What's your golden advice for our juniors?
To think properly whether is there an option that you really want to go for it. Something that you have to think twice, because like what I've said previously, things that I've studied last time and now it's a completely different thing. So I'm stepping onto a something like a whole new world, something that I don't know. So uh, the willingness to pick things up uh, is one thing. The perseverance, the determination to want to do it, and you feel like, oh, it's a do or die thing, that it's your only way, that kind of thing. A perseverance to uh, continue even though you know that. So like what you have mentioned, like you have to know everything a little bit. So it's impossible to know everything 100%, I think, for someone who comes from arts, because our foundation, our basic of arts, of science is already not strong. So on top of that, you have to learn like another whole bulk of thing to continue when you don't know, you don't understand, but you have to continue to understand and study, uh, to have a strong heart, basically. Also, like when teachers say probably you fail, or why do you not understand such simple terminologies or such simple metaphor, just because you do not study that last time. So having a strong heart and perseverance is very important. Lastly, I would say that mm, I think uh, it's a combination of what Guo An said, the shameless thing, to not to be shy as well, to stand up, uh, to advocate what I mean, to say out when something is wrong, not just something is wrong with your patient, but also as simple as when something is wrong with studies, education, something is wrong with what your lecturer say probably, uh, or something is wrong within the system itself. Uh, to be brave enough to stand up and ask. So being able to confront things that you don't understand, things that you don't know, things that you find even when there is something wrong, to someone who is of more superior than you, I think it's also very important. Because in future, you also face like, what if patient have something? Doctors may make mistake also. So cannot be just because, oh, they are a doctor, they study more than me, and I don't even dare to ask. I don't even dare to say, are you doing something wrong, or is it? It's better to ask and even get scolded than there is a mistake that happen eventually at the end. I think.
Yes. I think that's very true. Especially like how you say, doctors can make mistakes as well. Yes, of course. And also nurses, sometimes they know the patient more than the doctor himself because they're the one taking care of the patient most of the time. We're about to get to the end of our conversation, but I have one final question to ask the three of you, which is, any last words to say that you would like to share to our juniors?
I think mine will be. I think it's inspired by whatever Guan and Jocelyn have mentioned just now. Really, don't be afraid of making mistake. And I think the lecturers always tell us also, like, now is the time for you to make mistakes, because when you are working as a nurse or even healthcare providers in the real setting already, there's no room for making mistakes. So really, now is the time to ask question and make mistake. So yeah, that's how you learn, right? So yeah, don't be afraid.
Yes, don't be afraid. Make mistakes now, not in the future.
Yeah.
Okay, what about Guo An?
This is from our HOD. She always say, if you think nursing is not your path, and you can always choose the other way, because when you think this course is already alter your mental health, and you are not so fond of it, you can always quit lah. Don't force yourself into it. Yeah.
Yes, because it's not an easy path. And if it's not fulfilling to you, it's always better to just quit than force yourself through it. Yeah, that's correct.
To conclude,
Jocelyn.
if I can do it, you can do it.
Yeah.
Yay.
I think you guys are very remarkable people. Okay, so thank you so much for coming in to talk with us, and you've shared very good insight, and I'm sure our juniors are very excited to hear more from you, or they're very excited, and I'm sure you've inspired them to start their new semester. So thank you so much for listening to this point. If you guys are still listening, I hope you are. Anyways, I hope you guys have enjoyed this episode, and thank you so much for tuning in. And do follow our socials as well. We have Instagram and our YouTube channel, and we have Facebook as well. Please subscribe so you don't miss out on any updates, and I will see you in the next episode. Thank you. Bye bye.